Hi everyone, my
Bora
name
lá.
is Brenda.
Hello, everybody. My name is Milene.
Welcome to Classic Literature and let's go, guys.
In this video, we'll be talking about classic literature and the relations of power.
We choose three stories to present that are Of Cannibals by Michel de Montaigne, The Tempest by William Shakespeare, and Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe.
Based on our observations, these texts present an explicit relation between who orders and who obeys, and by means of which we can identify the ambition and falsity that's possible to compare with contemporary world.
We are going to present the relation of stories. Power in Of Cannibals. The barbaric, according to the Europeans, in the text are the native people. The Tupinambás seen as cruel and savage. They are characterized like this for no considered civilized beings who are well educated, respectful, and careers. Tupinambá tribal are considered barbaric to Europeans because they are cannibals for no wearing clothing, the inexistence of inequality or concerns about gold and wealth, and the way how Tupinambá tribal organized their rituals. Then, where is the power relation here? Indigenous who don't speak English or don't wear clothes or eat people, they are all considered inferior to the Europeans. And according to Montaigne, now to return to my subject, I find that there is nothing barbarous and savage in this nation according to what I have been told, except that everyone gives the title of barbarism to everything that is not according to his use, as indeed we have no other criterion of truth and reason that the example and partner of the opinions and customs of the country wherein we live. Montaigne says is they can be considered barbaric because of their culture, that who they are and they have their own way of interpreting life and the world, and isn't absurd. The power relation is established by the Europeans believing they were superior of the civilized human in education, religion, society organization, capacity of thought, and everything else, all because they were white English people in comparison to any other people that didn't share their vision and practices.
The power relation in the Tempest is about Prospero and Caliban. That's who we're going to analyze because their relationship is where power is more explicit. Prospero uses his power as a tool for domination through threats. We can see this in the book with the characters whom he interacts the most, like Ariel and Caliban. Here we have three excerpts of The Tempest. All of them are in Act 1, Scene 2, and we're not gonna read everything, but let's see how Prospero refers to Caliban in these excerpts and how Caliban sees everything. Here in the first part, Prospero calls Caliban a tortoise, a poisonous slave got by the devil himself. And Caliban, he says, "This island's mine, by sea corrects my mother, which thou takest from me." We have all the other speeches of Caliban, but this is the one we can perceive the most what's happening. From these excerpts, we can visualize their relationship and how things works. Caliban is the actual owner of the island. Prospero from the very start manipulated Caliban. He treated him well in the beginning, like he was family. But once Caliban did one thing wrong, Prospero enslaved him and took the island from him. We can notice, as in the other texts, the domination of the white Englishmen. They dominate the natives, always believing they are superior, in Prospero's case because he's a duke.
Power relation in Robinson Crusoe.
Mhm.
Upon rescuing the native, Robinson concludes that he can treat the native in an inferior way rather than treating him equally as read in speech of Robinson. It came very warmly upon my thoughts, and indeed irresistibly, that now was the time to get me a servant and perhaps a companion or assistant, and that I was plainly called by Providence to save this poor creature's life. Robinson concludes Friday is giving his life to him as a way to thank is really ethnocentrism being rubbed in our faces.
I smiled at him, and looked pleasantly, and beckoned to him to come still nearer. At length he came close to me, and then he kneeled down again, kissed the ground, and laid his head upon the ground, and taking me by the foot set my foot upon his head. This, it seems, was in token of swearing to be my slave forever.
Robinson changed the man's name to Friday and taught English to him. Friday was taught that Robinson's name was master, and also the words yes and no and their meaning. This is expressed in this excerpt. In a little time I began to speak to him and teach him to speak to me. And first I let him know his name should be Friday, which was the day I saved his life. I called him so for the memory of the time. I likewise taught him to say master, and then let him know that was to be my name. I likewise taught him to say yes and no, and to know the meaning of them. Besides that, Robinson only describes Friday in a good way because he compares Friday to European people. He refers to him in a good way to consider him as different kind of native because Friday accepts the impositions of Robinson without contesting. Friday obeys and is faithful to his master.
The connection between all books. It's present and very striking in the three texts: the superiority of the white man and inferiority of the black man, indigenous, natives. Both texts present situations of manipulation, submission, and oppression, because the white men truly believe they're superior to the natives, just because they're white and because of their positions in the world, which for them is more than enough reason to dominate, take everything from those people, appropriates what they find, and use the innocence of those considered inferior, making them slaves, subject to taking orders in their own land without contradictions or contestation. By everything we have already said, we can compare what happened in the books with our world we live in nowadays. It still exists, arrogance, it still exists, people thinking they're better just because of their position on there or because of where they come from. This is the reason why classic literature is still relevant in our days today.